everybody. Welcome to the PlayHeadCast. I'm here with Cody.
Yo, what's up, guys?
And my name is Brandon. And we're going to be talking about, was it Sound of Silver?
Yes. By
Okay.
LCD Sound System.
Yes. Okay. And Cody, it was your pick, so you go ahead and tell us what you thought.
So it's I have already listened to this album thoroughly. I'm not gonna say every song in there is my favorite, but it's definitely an album that has a very groovy sound. Something it's just groovy. It has a lot of kind of like cool bass lines, cool dance rhythms, and like it has like a really 80s esque kind of sound. And whatever it is, I'm not entirely sure if LCD Sound System is a person with like recorded synthesizers and whatnot, or if it's like a group. But either way, it's just like a really cool sound, very vibey.
Okay. I know what you mean about not every song was your favorite. I did really like North American Scum. I've heard that before briefly. And what was that, Step
So
Brothers?
yeah, North America. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fucking sick song.
Musically, I liked it. The only thing is the vocals weren't particularly to my liking on some of the songs, but overall, I'd say it was pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, good. Right on, man. I'm glad you liked it. I definitely would recommend checking out other albums. Did you like Get Innocuous?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Just wanted to make sure you like I believe they used that song for the GTA 4 commercial, like way back in the day.
Yeah, the only GTA 4 commercial I remember is the one with, oh Christ, what's that song?
Nico, it's your cousin.
Cousin, it's your cousin.
Why don't you take me bowling?
Oh god, what was that song though that they used for the GTA 4 commercial? It was by Greenskeepers, I think.
Oh, Vagabond.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the only commercial that I remember.
That was a dope commercial too.
It was. That's a pretty kick-ass song too.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool time for music, honestly. There's like some cool little underground bands around that time.
yeah, it's amazing how much music there is and how much you will never hear, no matter how hard you
Makes
try.
me mad. It makes me so fucking mad, dude. Like I know there's just like I know there's songs out there that would blow my mind, and I'll never get to hear them.
Yeah.
I'm fucking mad.
Well, I'm gonna pick something a little more on the obscure side. I don't know how obscure, but it's obscure to me because the way I found it was like I never would have heard of it if I hadn't have found it the particular way. But my pick for next time is going to be Sonic Jihad by Snake River Conspiracy.
Sonic,
Sonic
Jihad.
Jihad
Oh, Sonic Jihad. Okay, Jihad.
by
Got it.
Snake River Conspiracy.
Snake River Conspiracy. Wow, they really wanted to fit the whole fucking name in there, didn't they? Um, all right, right on. Check it out. Hey, quick question, Brandon. Have you ever heard of a band called the Presidents of the United States?
Yes. Are they the ones that
Or
did Lump?
Crusoe? Yes. Okay, you have heard of them. That's my favorite, one of my favorite songs. Anyways, yeah, just a random thought.
Okay. Um, have you ever had mead?
Yeah, real me too. I went to a party, and this gentleman was like really into like like MMO role plays, like fucking Dungeons and Dragons and shit. Well, he threw like a birthday. It was like Viking themed, and we
Okay.
had actual turkey legs and mead, like real mead.
Okay. What'd you think of it?
It's pungent.
It's pungent.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
imagine it's the wine equivalent of asparagus pea
Okay.
with sweetness.
Um, yeah, I tried some for the first time. That's why I asked. I got two different brands of mead. One of the brands, it came in bottles and definitely tasted a lot like wine in a way. Or it had like wine reminiscences.
Qualities. Yeah.
And then the other one I got was in cans, and that one tasted more like beer, and it had like half the alcohol.
Okay.
Um,
I was about to say that's probably the one I had. The one I had seemed more like a beer. But But it was authentic mead, so I don't know what the fuck these fucks were drinking in the medieval times. But let me tell you right now, like it's the fucking best time to be alive for mead. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of different choices, so I just kind of picked two of them. I was like, okay, I'll get this brand and this brand. So I don't have any idea if this is like the kind of stuff that like a hardcore mead fan would go for, but I thought it was pretty interesting. It was fun to do something new. I like to do new stuff nowadays, so I get excited when I like today, actually, I'm expecting a delivery of some different kinds of snacks that I've never had before, like mushroom jerky.
You're on one of those little subscription box hunts, right? You get the subscription boxes and test the stuff out.
I don't have any subscription boxes. I just ordered a bunch of random shit.
Okay, and maybe you might stick to one and keep ordering it.
Yeah, you know, it's like when I got the beef biltong and like the honeycomb and I guess the meat.
That's right.
Uh,
That's actually kind of cool. That's like it's kind of cool. Businesses like that too have like a people to fucking pick up. You know, people actually want that stuff. Like order like special little snacks or like very like what do you say like specific things. I was gonna say my friend Bradley, like you brought that up. He ordered for like 2 years. He ordered these clothes subscription boxes with a bunch of different styles.
okay.
And I swear to God, dude, like this kid's identifying trait is he doesn't have one style. He changes like every single day. It's so funny, dude. But yeah, he was getting these subscription boxes for like 3 or 2 years where he'd get like a different kind of outfit, like an emo thing and a punk thing and then a whatever, a classy thing.
Huh.
And it was just like it was looked like he was like fucking like in the what is that, the witness protection program or something, dude. You just get like a new person every day. But I was like, dude, that's rad. You can just order fucking clothes and whatever you want or you want to keep, you keep it, and then they'll start sending you more stuff like that. That was crazy.
That's interesting. I never thought of clothing as a subscription type thing.
Yeah, I like to kind of grab it as I go. I'm gonna jerk my own wiener off here. I like to shop at the thrift store because I'm doing good for the world. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't think it really makes a difference, to be honest. Sorry, everybody. I'm a little drowsy right now.
Yeah, I'm a little sleepy too. I've been having like weird sleep where I have these fucking bizarre dreams. I had a dream about you the other day.
Go on.
It was weird because like I don't usually dream about people,
Me neither.
except for like some members of my family. And fucking when I dream about you, you're always like this huge prick. Like whatever's going on, you're just a total dickhead for like the duration of the dream.
God.
But like it was so bizarre. It was like we had this like treehouse. It was fucking cool. Like I wish that was real because it was awesome.
The house part was dope.
Yeah, the treehouse part was great. It had like it was like two tree houses that were connected by like a rope bridge.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. So I was kind of pissed off when I woke up and it was all bullshit. But we were like fucking around with guns, like real guns, and we were like playing with them like they were fucking airsoft toys.
You know what I'm thinking, dude? I feel like you just like had a dream about what we used to do as kids and just like replaced us with adult figures.
And real guns.
And real guns. Yeah, but it's dream world, so nobody dies. You just blow my brains out. Gotcha.
Oh, speaking of dreams, I had something I wanted to ask you about. Forgive me if I've asked before. Do you have any sense of continuity between any of your dreams?
Yeah, definitely.
You do. Okay.
Yeah, there is like always like in those dreams, like the frequent the dreams that you have that you could tell anybody that you've had before, like all of them connect in the not in a sense like of like they have anything to do with each other, but the scenario is always the same. It's always me running from something like a natural disaster, maybe like a zombie apocalypse or something or whatever, and I'm like with a family or a group of people, And it's not like the situation's ever this, like the situation of me being in like the survivor scenarios always there, but what the dream about could be different people in different situations, you know what I mean?
I see.
But that's always the common like theme of the dream is like, you know, running from disaster.
'Cause I have dreams that have like actual continuity in terms of like I'll have a dream that references a dream I had, like 6 years ago or something like that. So it's like a continuation where the details are the same. It's just like what happens next. Um, and I'm curious about that because I don't know. I don't know a lot of people who have had the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever had a reoccurring dream of like a death dream, like a reoccurring death dream?
No, I don't think I've really had dreams where I die.
Die, but you like right before you die, you wake up.
No, I haven't had dreams like that.
I had a reoccurring dream where I was in a car and like I was like slightly sedated, maybe paralyzed partially, and the car was going maybe like 50, 60 miles an hour, and my hand was like on the wheel, but I couldn't move it, and it was just slowly drifting to the left off the road, and then it would just like right when it hit like the curb and started bouncing, I'd wake up.
Hmm.
And I had it like 100 times, and I talked to a medium once, and this is actually like a friend, not like somebody who was making money off of me. And she said, you probably feel out of control. It was like when I was getting out of the Air Force. She's like, it's probably because you feel like out of control with your life, you know? Like you don't feel control over where your life is going right now. So you kind of, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's actually pretty insightful because that was accurate with how I was feeling. So
Okay.
I wonder how much our emotions play into our dreams. That's like
Oh, I'm sure they play a
interesting.
lot. I would be interested to hear examinations of some of my dreams, although I would not necessarily put like a huge amount of stock in whatever the supposed explanation is because I don't necessarily think that every single dream has a an important meaning of any kind.
Have you ever had a dream where you made amends with somebody?
No.
Those are the weird ones. I used to have those quite a bit.
And then you wake up and it's like, oh
Now you're
no.
dead. It's too late. Yeah, it's like it's not real. Well, I don't know. I kind of was like, I remember, me and my girlfriend now, we had like a little break over the summer. It's pretty serious break, and I don't know, it was weird. I'd have those dreams again, like kind of making amends, but it was like in my head, and I was like, dude, I just don't want to like deal with that again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I obviously care about her, so like that's why I went back. Kind of trusted my gut. Good decision in the long run.
Actually, something just occurred to me. One of my biggest fears, I think I've had a dream that actually centers around it. My biggest fear is not being able to determine reality anymore. That's like the scariest thought that I could have is that I can't trust my own experiences anymore. So I had a dream once where I was like, I was in my body, but I wasn't controlling anything I did, and I was like murdering people that I knew, and I was like
Oh my
screaming at
God.
them like to run away from me because I couldn't stop it.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was really traumatizing at the time. I couldn't fucking like shake the feeling of how creepy it was for days.
I don't think I've ever killed anybody in my dreams. Ever.
Really?
Every time I try to fight in my dream or like actually do something, like it feels like I don't have any power like in my body.
Oh, I hate that. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you mean.
you
Like
go
if you
to
try to
punch and
punch
it's just like
somebody,
a,
it's like nothing.
and it's like it's like punching in space or something, dude. Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
Yeah,
a perfect way to describe that. I hate that
yeah,
feeling.
yeah, you're just like, and the person's like, wow, you you really thought you were gonna beat me with that? Fucking, I there's something interesting. So like, I have a friend,
Okay.
and he had this dream where he was like swimming in like oil, and he heard like people screaming, like other men, and he like wakes up. I think he said he was like 7 when he had this dream, and he said it was weird because he didn't understand the concept of burning oil on water. You know what I mean? Like he'd never been exposed to that particular, like, the physics of that. What
Okay.
that looks like. And he was having dreams. He was telling his mom, like, I keep swimming in this water, and there's like fire on the water, mom. There's fire on the water, and there's other guys screaming for help, and I can't help them. She's like, what the fuck? And this is like the first time I've heard stories like this. So, anyways, come to find out, his grandfather was in World War II, in Pearl Harbor,
Hmm.
and that he was actually in that exact situation where he was swimming through oil, an oily burning ocean, trying to fight for his own life and save as many people as he could. And like he always talked about the guilt of like the screams, the people he couldn't get or whatever, or the people he chose not to get is how he puts it. But whatever. Anyways, I was like, that's interesting, right? I mean, kid's too fucking young to understand what he's even describing. But it's crazy because even as he's older, he said, I have that dream still. Like, he's like, it's not really vivid enough for me to see faces or what people are wearing. He's like, but the situation's like always like that.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'll see. I kind of know you're I'll see it when I believe it kind of guy. But
Yeah.
I think we definitely just don't understand. Like, if you look at the universe logically, I'm no different than a fucking rock on the ground. We're all the same star matter. So we're all the same universe. We are in the universe. We are the universe. And it would be interesting to see how much more connected we are to everything, seeing as we're all the same thing, like possibly connected on like, some psychic level, or maybe even like on a interdimensional level. I don't know. Just stuff like that, It's like odd little things like that, and it's just like how is that even possible?
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
And now it could be debunked as a kid just having really weird dreams and saying stuff that he doesn't understand. Totally. But it was just like, I don't know, when
Well,
he told me that story, I was like, wow, that's actually pretty, bone shaking.
one thing that really sticks out to me in terms of the way people perceive things is are you familiar with James Randi?
No.
Okay, James Randi is, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. He's got to be very old now, but he's a magician who spent time kind of debunking phony psychics and people who claim to have like supernatural abilities or proof of supernatural phenomenon.
Probably
And
debunked a fuck ton of them.
yeah, he got some pretty famous ones too, like that prick Peter Popov. He brought like a radio transmit or like an interceptor to one of Peter Popov's sermons where he's alleging that God is telling him the names of people in the audience, and it was just like his wife in the back room with a fucking radio and like an earpiece hooked up to him.
So fucking shitty.
Yeah, so one of the things that was interesting that he demonstrated once was there was these people who swore by a medium that they visited who claimed to like talk to their dead family members, and the way they described it, she got everything right like first time, like it was all like scary how accurate it was. And
That's concerning.
James Randi had the transcripts, and it turns out that they're full of shit, or at least they remembered it wrong, because in the transcripts, it all went on for so much longer than what they claimed.
Yeah,
Like,
like
she had to
points where
stumble her way through.
yeah, she got little pieces of information to build off of through the conversation.
Yeah, but the way they remembered it, or the way they were describing it at least, made it sound like, oh no, she knew exactly what she was talking about, like every step of the way. And it's like, well, transcript says otherwise, and they just didn't believe it.
And I'm even to go just as far to say is like I've had experiences with mediums, but the reality is like I don't know what they have access to before I walked up there. Maybe that's how they make their money. Maybe they have somebody following a person and getting tidbits of information on them. I really don't know, but the one that I talked to that really shook me was just in Venice Beach. I just like she didn't see me coming and came out of nowhere, sat down. She had told me I traveled a lot and that I, was in the not in the Air Force. She said you're in the military. She told me all this shit about me. I was like, whoa. She's like, you're obviously sulking over some like lost love from a distance. But like I said too, that doesn't mean that there's no way she could have gotten that information. It's just saying that it would be really crazy if she did.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And if she did go that far, well, good for her. Fuck, she deserves the 50.
The thing about it is, when people hear the information that connects, they tend to forget about the stuff that didn't connect.
That's true. You do remember. That's totally true. I'm one to admit that I always remember things differently than they are. It's kind of like what Alan Watts. I don't know if you know him. Very famous. I guess you'd call him like a philosopher, but he kind of mixed like Western and like Asian, Buddhist ideals.
Okay.
He used to say, what did he say? Because we were talking. Oh God, I totally forgot we were just talking about Brandon. What did we before I got to Alan Watts? What did you say?
We were talking about experiences like when like a medium would get something correct, the people would forget like the false answer or the false leads.
Yeah. Alan Watts said, it's pretty interesting we live in a society where we find more enjoyment looking at the photograph of the event than the actual event itself. And what he was getting at was we romanticize things that happened in the past to, give us some meaning in the future when it really wasn't that way. We kind of lie to ourselves. And in a sense, that's how that happens, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you were really in the present and you were really being objective and you really weren't just lost in your own emotions, you might have actually seen what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I'm saying, you have to take into effect that the general awareness of the average person is more than likely not that high.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I would go. I'm not that aware. Like I'm aware. Like there's some things I'm fucking crazy aware of, especially self-awareness. But even then, there's plenty I'm not aware of. And I'm sure you could say the same for yourself. Like I know some people. Like I know this guy. He was a detective that he worked at the old Air Force base I was with. He could remember how many people were in the room, how many chairs, where the fire alarms were. I mean, the dude just remembered. He had like a fucking photographic memory, dude.
Mm.
And I was like, damn, you must be like in the present.
That thought has always interested me, to have like that level of detailed memory. Because
I think it could be taught, but I also think it's more of like a biological kind of, gene thing.
yeah, there's like those kids that are like fucking crazy, where they can just like, they look at a table for like a second and they know everything that's on the table, and it's like, god damn.
There's just kids, like a perfect like analogy is like it's just that fucking kid who crumbles up a fucking paper ball in class and throws it and just makes it every time, or his first time and then every time, like kids who just like are, I don't know, dude. There's levels to human beings, man. I meet people all the time. I'm like, dude, you're not human. Like, you're a fucking monster. Like, you're not a person. Nobody wakes up and runs 20 miles in the morning, lifts weights, and then goes to a job and then does it again every day. Like that's not normal. You're fucking crazy.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just exceptional human beings. Like, I meet people who are so kind, so nice, so genuine, so put together. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit, dude. Like, there has to be some kind of gene, difference here. Because whatever it is, your reality is not mine, sir.
Yeah, it is interesting that, man, like some people are just like fucking wildly different from other people.
Yeah, as you get older, you understand that they're so fundamentally different that it's like you understand that you'll never understand what their reality's like, and you just accept that. You try to find the things that you can communicate on, but there's just some things you'll never ever see the same.
Yeah, my dad, he was a real smart guy, and there were times when he would just be casually doing shit that was like way above my level, and I would just be like, what the fuck must it be like just be a fucking genius like that?
Dude, it's gotta be fucking, I don't know, if like I feel like if you're not autistic, which would be a benefit in that situation because I don't think you would have too much emotional trauma from it, it'd be really awesome. But if you were like just a normal person and you had a high amount of intelligence, I think that's, dude. I met this kid who was addicted to heroin, looked like a total scumbag, and he recited like basically a fourth of Romeo and Juliet to everybody at a fucking party, word for word, in the voice and everything. And I was thinking, this kid's insanely intelligent, and he's probably got so much going on in his head that he just relies on drugs to deal with it. It has to be a hyperactivity in the brain, right?
I don't know. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I have a problem where I kind of have trouble collecting my thoughts or like thinking about something and only that thing.
Yeah, I do find things that I don't want to use the word obsess, but I'll break down, analyze every situation, try to understand it, feel it, like, and then before I process my response, I want to make sure that I fully like analyzed what I'm trying to get at.
Well, like what I mean is, I guess an easy way to put it is that it's noisy in my head.
Yeah, it's
So
hard. You can't turn it off.
I have to. I mean, they say crazy people talk to themselves, and then when I hear that, I interpret that as like they have a conversation with themselves where they reply and answer. But I have to essentially talk to myself to keep my thoughts on track because when I'm speaking, I'm focusing on what I'm saying at least. Whereas if I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to do it
do.
all in my head,
I resonate. I resonate with that.
yeah, if I try to do it all in my head, I can't keep it together. There's like extra things that pop in there and like derail what I'm trying to do.
Well, I remember Emily walked in on me having an argument with myself. I don't know if I was like rehearsing like what I was gonna say or something that happened. But I didn't realize I was being vocal.
Yeah.
And Emily like walked in and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I look like I'm fucking crazy. Like that was so embarrassing. And I just looked at her, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed right now. She's like, dude, I do it all the time. She's like, I have full conversations with myself. She's like, it's a coping mechanism, honestly. And it's like, you know what's odd, Brandon?
What's that?
When you say it, you feel like somebody's listening.
Yeah.
The conversation doesn't feel like one way. It actually feels like my like inner conscience is talking to my actual like id, like my outer body. You know, my flesh. As in like deep. See, because it's always that deep question, right? Like you ask the question, who makes you? Do you drink water because you're thirsty or because you wanted to drink water? But then you ask this question, who's making that decision?
Hmm.
I mean, when you get that deep, it's like, what is that? I was watching this video of this like android they have that's going around the world, and it's like one of the smartest robots, and she's having a conversation with like fucking Tony Robbins. Hate that guy. I don't hate him. He's funny. Um, and he was like, what do you think? Like, what do you think about humans' free will? And she's like, from what I've observed, she's like, it's everything about humans' responses seem impulsive and automatic. As in, like, as much as we like to think we have free will, it's almost like there's this deep, deep, deep thing that's always making the decision, and sometimes it makes the decisions that aren't good for us. Like basically bad habits. Like, what's making? Anyways, I understand the fundamentals of what habits actually are, but I'm saying there is that deeper part of you understanding that, like, when you're having a conversation with yourself, you're actually talking to yourself, but they're not the same. It's odd, dude. They feel like two entities sometimes. Like my flesh and my being feel like two entities. Like I'm not saying it's a soul. I'm talking like on a biological level. There is a disconnect between the body and whatever it is making these decisions.
Yeah, I would say that like
They don't understand the soul. Yeah, they
here's
don't
a dark
understand.
example of the disconnect between like your brain and your decision making and
Yeah,
like
id,
your
ego, and super
body, I
ego.
guess.
Yeah, it's the id, ego, super ego.
Yeah, this is a disturbing example, but I think it makes the point. Let's say you wanted to end your life, and you decide for whatever reason to do it by drowning. Even though you might want fully to die by this method, your body is still going to resist when you're
Yeah,
drowning.
it's your self-preservation instinct.
Yeah.
It's like you actually could, and a lot of people don't know this, you could bite your finger and it would be a little bit like harder than biting a carrot. But your self-preservation will not let you bite that hard.
Yeah,
That's
I've
why
heard
like
that.
when you're
That's
chewing, that's when you chew your food, the reason you bite your cheek or whatever is because you're not paying attention and you actually fucking bite. Like you could actually fuck somebody up. People don't, a bite from a human could fuck you up, dude. If you were really going in on it, you could fucking tear a piece of flesh off somebody's arm, no problem.
oh yeah.
Like our self-preservation instinct is really strong, but I I understand when people are terminally ill why they want to die, and I understand people who are massively, massively depressed want to die. But I don't think they actually want to die. I think they don't want to be in pain anymore, and they don't want to be depressed anymore, right? That's like
Okay.
really what it comes down to. I mean, realistically, it'd be pretty hard to find a human being who's genuinely from their soul being, like, he's like, no, I just don't want to live. Like, I'm happy, I just don't want to live. Like, I'm not saying it's never happened, but it'd have to be pretty rare. Um, I just really hope we find a way to deal with that stuff, man. Like, that's not just medication.
Yeah.
Like something more permanent, more of the symptom, or more of the cause, not the symptom, because I don't think anybody inherently wants to die. I think people are in pain, and life is tough. Life is really tough, and it's not easy for a lot of people. You know, people like it. It's not easy for a lot of people right now.
Yeah. I think we might be on a road to hopefully kind of making progress in that sense because it hasn't been all that long since I was like 10 years old, but since I was 10 years old, there has been a huge change in the way the public perceives mental health.
Oh, yeah, therapy needs to be more regulated and more regular. Not regulated, more regular, normalized.
Yeah, because when the reason I mentioned 10 years old is because that was the first time I tried to kill myself.
I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, that's one that I don't really shop around that much, but
Stan, it's personal.
that's part of the problem is that like I didn't want anyone to know because I felt like it was shameful and like I couldn't like I couldn't let people know that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a lot to be going through at 10. Fuck, I never, I don't think I ever felt like that.
yeah, I know
That's
that
scary.
I know this is like a bit of a darker podcast. We can try to pick this up in a little bit here, but just
No,
to
it's
finish
fine.
that thought,
It doesn't always have to be super fun and happy. Life's not always fun and happy, man.
that's true, but still, um,
Yeah, I got you. I got you. We're not trying to fucking make anybody cry. I
yeah.
got you.
I tried to hang myself when I was 10 years old, so that was before you and I met.
Jesus. Okay, that's Brandon. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this. I like it kind of makes a lot of sense now. Like when I first met you.
Well, did we meet before or after my sister died?
I think we were playing with each other on the playground around the time it happened, and then I think we actually like solidified as friends, hanging out like a couple, maybe like a year after.
Okay.
You never talked about it, honestly. Even to this day, you never really opened. I never was gonna pry. Dude, when I met you, Brandon, like, we were really good friends. I loved you and everything, but I could tell you were disturbed,
Yeah, I can understand that.
and not in disturbed like you were like angry. I mean, like life had definitely shaken you up a little bit.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not taking any offense at that or anything. I completely
Yeah,
understand
no,
what you mean.
yeah, and it's odd too, because a lot of people growing up seen that I grew up like in a trailer park in like a really ghetto like trailer, but I'm like, it's not really the quality of the house that of the home that you're living in that reflects what you're going through at all. Like I wasn't, I was poor, but I had a family. Like my mom wasn't perfect, but I never had to go through anything super super traumatizing as a kid. Now I had like serious emotional problems and issues with like my self-esteem, but I mean like I never had to face like real life. And what's weird is do you remember a time when I think it was like middle school, maybe elementary school, where I was obsessed with death? Like I was scared, terrified of dying. And I kept asking
Yeah.
you, I was like, do you think there's a God, Brandon? You're like, no, I don't think there is, Cody. Like, you weren't like shoving it down my throat to believe, but you're like, I think that's like, a stupid idea and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't like you were being mean. You were just telling me how you felt, right? And I
Oh
just
yeah.
remember that. And I was like, I think as I got older, I was like, you know what? Like, me and Brandon had completely different perspectives on life at that time. Like, I had stars in my eyes, and it kind of felt like yours were just ripped out, like, really young.
That's a really interesting way to put that.
Yeah, and I had the stars ripped out of my eyes, when I got older. But it's weird because after I did, and I think everybody does too. Like, there's no way you have to. It's a part of growing up, where you accept the reality of life. Like, there's no rainbows, there's no sunshine. It's not a Disney movie. You are responsible for your own happiness. You know what I mean? Like you have to take accountability for yourself because nobody else is going to. You basically survival instincts kick in.
Yeah.
And everybody has to go through that eventually, whether it be a loss, a terrible breakup, whatever. But I remember after feeling it, I would always reflect on our friendship and be like, I think that's why Brandon was kind of always like, not, I would say serious, but like you didn't really you didn't sugarcoat the world at all.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah, you just didn't sugarcoat it, and that's, dude, like, and you know what I mean right there is like the fact that we can talk about that now is like if you could have talked about it like that when you were younger, it might have been a whole different story, right?
Yeah, probably.
And honestly, it's like, no, it's not your mom's fault. It's just like our parents didn't. This mental health wasn't like a thing like our parents were being taught, or it was something that crazy people went to who needed help or whatever. And like, dude, I think a kid should be seeing a therapist once a week from K to 12. For any, I don't care if there's nothing wrong. They need, the counselor needs to sit there and basically tell the kid, look, no matter what you say in this room is not going to leave this room. And this is a room where you get to talk about, I don't care if it was stupid, I don't care if you feel like it's embarrassing, anything that pissed you off, Because if you don't let it out, it's going to fester at you.
Yeah.
Just tell me about your life. Tell me about your day. Just tell me what happened today. Anything you want. You can say names. I'm not going to go out of, whatever. Like that, right? Even that right there is just a start for a kid feeling comfortable talking to somebody in a regular, in a normalized way. Like, oh, we're going to talk to somebody every day. This is something I normally do. This is normal. And then if there's serious issues, the therapist they're already in the system. They're already used to being comfortable talking to a therapist. So now you can actually start treatment and not have so much backlash on it. Like, oh, what, you want to give? No, dude, you need this, like, trust me.
Yeah.
And teaching kids to deal with their emotions, dude, just like, it's like, I'm sorry, man, we don't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of old-fashioned people who just don't get the kind of damage that they're doing to younger people.
They're being counterproductive. They think that they're doing the world a service. They think like the tough guy macho attitude is what's going to carry us out. Dude, I was in the fucking military, man. I'll tell you right now, like that tough guy fucking macho attitude will get you nowhere. It'll get you fucking nowhere, dude. It'll get you killed. It'll straight up get you fucking killed. I'm not saying there's not a time to grow a pair of balls. I'm saying like there's also a time to be a fucking compassionate human being,
Yeah.
And that's got to be priority number one, dude. Just compassion. Like, we really need to stop having shame and looking into our own lives and talking about it. There's no shame. You have to be super, super non-judgmental with your own emotions. Because it's easy to judge yourself. It's easy to sit there and say, oh, I complain too much and blah, blah, blah. But, like, you let other people do that. You get to be unjudgmental. Like, it's not, other people get, if anybody's going to judge you, it's going to be other people. And let them do that. That's their job, not yours. Your job is just to be happy. Damn, sorry, man. I went on a little tangent there.
No, it's all right. That's exactly the point of this podcast. Just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Yeah, man. Do you think kids are more socially aware than when we were kids?
I don't know. I haven't been exposed to children at all, like, since not being.
That's what I was saying too. Same thing. I had this conversation with my girlfriend's roommate. She's a psych major, and I was just like, "Do you think kids are softer?" And she's like, "Well, I wouldn't say softer." She said, "I see them more as, like, socially aware, like more in the sense of being nice to each other. Not being a dick, like how things kind of were, where it was like." And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I'm really curious. Like, it's hard to remember what life was like when we were a kid because it was forever ago. But like, I wonder like what do you remember me getting bullied by Tommy?
Yeah.
I wonder if that still happens like all the time still. Like I wonder if that's just like a problem that's always going to be there.
Oh, I'm sure there's always going to be shithead kids. I mean,
He came up to me afterwards and told me like, sorry man, like my dad was like really mean to me and blah blah blah. And I was like, what? Like a fucking after school special, dude. Stop! You're gonna make me cry.
yeah, it's funny. I could imagine me getting bullied, but I kind of never got bullied.
You didn't put up with shit, dude. Nobody's gonna bully you. Like, you probably would actually do something. You know what I mean? Like if not maybe physical, but you would just say, "Hey, fuck you, asshole!" Like you'd probably say up and just say something. Like, you wouldn't put up with it at the beginning. That's how bullying starts. If you put up with it once, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, I take it back. I was slightly bullied. Slightly. It's not like it was a big deal. It was just like it irritated.
It's humiliating, dude. I fucking hate it.
I'm trying to figure out how to put this. It like frustrated me that he would try. Not that it was affecting me, but like it was pissing me off that he was trying to.
It's like, what's your fucking deal, guy? Like, can you just... I don't go over there and tell you how to fucking suck dick. Leave me alone.
But yeah, this fucking kid in high school, for Christ's sake, called me Four Eyes for wearing glasses, which I feel like that's like a fucking elementary school thing, like not even middle school.
2020.
What's that?
Said fuck you, 2020.
Yeah, he was calling
Daddy
me
money eyes. Daddy's money's eyes.
Yeah, he was calling me like Four Eyes and shit, and like a year later, he fucking came to school and he was wearing glasses, and I thought that was the funniest shit ever in the world. I was so happy to see that he got fucking glasses because I was like, ah, bitch.
Sorry, I don't want to be blind. My bad.
Yeah,
dude, I would just take them up. Like, you know what? You're right. I'm so stupid for wanting to see normal. I'm so silly. Put it in my pocket. No, you're right, dude. I'll do great in class, not being able to see anything. Thank you for telling me how to better my life. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's one I never understood.
No, it's just because they're bored and they want attention. Kids who like fucking haggle kids in class, they want attention. They don't do it because they're literally trying to get attention. That's it. And you can't disprove that because that's exactly what they're doing. They want attention. Why do they want attention? Because they didn't get enough fucking attention from mommy and daddy. They're acting out because they're not getting attention. That's 100% what's happening.
Mm.
And you just call it out right there. You see it, like, dude, why are you acting out like a little fucking kid? Like, why are you acting like you're 12? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, man? We're fucking adults. Like, what are you doing right now? You look fucking silly. We're in fucking class and you're joking at me like a child. I can't wait to see you at 18 years old, buddy. Good luck. You know? Like, that's how it is. Like, I think that's how kids should deal with bullying right there. Just how I handle it. Like, call them out. Like, what are you doing right now, buddy? Why are you acting like a fucking 3-year-old, you know? You want to be a big boy? Act like a big boy.
This is probably not the most appropriate reaction I could have had, but I was fed up with his shit at a certain point because he kept like, he would just like come up to me when I was talking to people who were my friends and definitely not his, and he would just start like hassling me, which was so weird and invasive. So I was like being a goofball at PE, kind of like normal.
And, off, usual.
You'll fucking stand it. And yeah, I was just like being a goofball, and like dudes were laughing and shit. And he comes up and he just starts like yelling over everyone laughing, like trying to make it about him, like fucking like hassling me. And I had it, so I was like, yeah, you know what, I wear fucking glasses, but look what I can do. And I started running circles around him because he was fucking fat, and I was like, look what I can do, I can run, can you do this? I don't fucking think so. And then
You
you know
fat
what? He
fuck.
didn't fucking bother me anymore.
Yeah, that's how I dealt with like the Tommy situation. Like he fucking slapped the shit out of me one day. Oh no, he didn't slap me. He picked me up and I slapped the fuck out of him and I ran really fast. He like threw something at me. Well, anyways, um, I
Fucking
was like,
shithead.
I lost the next time I saw him. I was like, Tommy, I was like, you'll never be able to beat me up because I'll outrun you every fucking time. You idiot. You weigh 180 pounds and you're like not even 5 feet. You're not gonna catch it. You look like the Michelin fucking tire man. I might be
Jesus.
chubby, but I will fucking outrun you. My survival instincts are there, you fat fuck. That's mean. Tommy, by the way, if you're listening, you're not fat anymore. You did lose a bunch of weight, and you looking really good, buddy. And I can't wait to talk to you. Because me and him got really cool, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool. We met up after high school, and, obviously I was kind of a little, not fag in the way like you're gay. Like, fag, I was just being a fag. I used to be a little fag growing up, I get that. Like, but I get to say that to myself. Nobody else gets to. Like, I think I was kind of a fag growing up. And we all grow up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be bullied a little bit. Because, like, you need to be molded by your peers. Sometimes people have, like, when parents can't pick up the fucking parenting thing, sometimes you need, like, some other kids to fucking be like, hey, you probably don't know this, but you're a spoiled, rotten little shit. And if you don't fucking straighten up, dude, we're not gonna hang out with you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple times you and a couple of my other friends have kind of molded me into the man I am today. Like, you didn't let me get away with, like, fucking nonsense. The ant kids thing, that couldn't carry on in the high school, buddy.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? You need your friends every once in a while to be real with you. Be like, hey man, you're being fucking weird right now. Like, you got to stop.
You gotta cut that shit out. We're about to be like young adults.
I don't mean to transition this in an offensive way at all. Do you still talk to Joe?
Um,
Was that a diss in itself? I'm so sorry. I was not trying to diss you.
I've had little conversations with him here and there recently.
Yeah. Also, my bad for dropping last names.
Yeah, I'll try to
No,
edit that
yeah,
out.
edit that out and leave this part in so it'll be funny. But yeah. It was just kind of like, never mind. Maybe I shouldn't like bring out the laundry or whatever. I just remember there was a time like in middle school, and there was like a little crush between somebody that we both know, and it was like he like freaked out, and I was like, dude, I'm sure he realizes this now as an adult. I'm not saying he's like dumb, but at the time I was like, we were kind of mean about it. We are like, dude, you can't act like that. You're kind of creeping her out. And like it really hurt his feelings, but he needed to hear that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that behavior needed to be corrected immediately, because if you didn't do it there, it was going to continue. And if anything, we wouldn't be doing him any favors because he would just keep going down this negative pattern of thinking. You need somebody to fucking like, hey kid, you need to cut it out. You're being a little baby. Hello.
all right. Okay, we're coming up on time here. Talked about a lot of shit today.
We really did. Kind of dug into it.
Um, just to set off the final reminder, we are going to be listening to Sonic Jihad by Snake River Conspiracy. And thank you all so much for listening if you made it this far. Cody and I appreciate that a lot. And get any last thoughts, Cody?
Nope. Just everybody have a good day, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care, folks.
Toodles.